Earthlings, wisdom keepers, wisdom seekers, welcome back to WizdomDropz. Y'all saw us one day, the Dropz of Wizdom and Savvy Astrology. My name is TONIA, and today we are discussing the Taurus full moon eclipse. And this is the short and quick three kind of core things I feel are going to be really good for you to do under the influence of this eclipse energy. And let us not forget, eclipse energy is present right now as it's happening, absolutely, as well as the next month until the next full moon, as well as the full next 6 months, because that's how long it'll take for a new moon to happen in the same sign where the full moon currently is, which is Taurus. If you haven't already, like this video. Thank you so much to all of you who do. And you can, of course, check out the deep dive I did. More and more of that sort of astrological quality will be available through my Patreon, link down below, to link yourself to my content for a mere $10 a month, which I do so much appreciate. And last but not least, an interesting little nugget of information for those of you looking to expand your fountain of astrological knowledge and wisdom. WizdomDropz Astrology School is happening, ta-da, again, and it begins in January. This time revamped as a year-long container. This is specifically targeted towards you people out there who are looking to become expert quality astrologers and at the same time have a proficient level of respectable astrological ability to meet your clients' needs, have a business component developed alongside it. This is a unique opportunity for you to do the whole kit and caboodle in one, as it is a collaboration between myself and my longtime sister slash bestie, Trinetti, who is a business guru. Okay, so that is very exciting information, and the application to enroll thyself upon our consideration and review of our mutual relationship and affinity is down below. Okay, thank you so much to those of you who choose to apply. I really have been enjoying that process. So cool. Let's jump into the top threes for this Taurus eclipse. Again, I did a long video, y'all. Okay, you can check it out. This is the synthesis video, and I specifically did not prepare a little short and sweet list for y'all today because I wanted to practice with you live just a natural flow of what kind of speed reading on your feet is like as an astrologer. And that's pretty much everything you've ever seen me do on this channel, right? But sometimes I have like prepared like little notes. You'll see lots of us do. But really what a good astrologer is somebody who can just meet this chart and have responses to it, right? That are accurate, that have meaning, that somehow contextualize these sorts of relationships. And so that's really what we're going to practice today together, and you'll get a feel for how you yourself could do that as you develop your astrological prowess. Okay, so let's just go back to basics, everybody. Whenever my students are overwhelmed, I'm like, y'all just need to go back to basics and you're going to get the deepest, juiciest insights. So let's practice this. First things first, we know that this moon, this lunar event, right, is in the sign of Taurus. So Taurus as an energy is ruled by Libra. Taurus is fixed earth. Taurus is associated with keywords like peace and harmony in lower vibration, not so much those peaceful, harmonious, beauteous, the bodacious vibrations, but a lazy, kind of saturated, sort of heavy, sort of slow, unmotivated, lethargic energy, right? And or deeply stubborn to a fault. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, some of the things that we also know, not only is Venus kind of the queen of this event, as she is the celestial ruler of the moon's transiting sign, but she's in some ways the omen indicator for what this eclipse is providing, as an eclipse is always a karmic experience. Anything in astrology, one could say, is karmic, as anything in life could be inherently karmic, right? However, when you have that moon with the nodes are karmic points, this little horseshoe looking thing, right? So the next major kind of core thing we need to look at to develop a key 3 takeaway list is the nodes. So the fact that the node is still in Gemini technically means that Mercury is, yes, still technically the ruler of the node's placement. However, it's a Venus-ruled lunation. So we would also peep the fact that Mercury is over here at 21 degrees in a nice little, tango of an opposition by a 6-degree orb to that moon. So there's almost a sort of, there's a release of this, mercurial energy happening that is kind of called to innovate and advance. As you can see, the moon itself is with Uranus, which is the higher octave, as I spoke of in my previous video, of Mercury. So there's this call for a karmic call. The North Node is Rahu. It is, as we speak of, right, very hungry. It's this sort of growth-oriented point in a chart. So it is this pursuit of mercurial evolution. It's the last moment that the node is going to be in Mercury sign for a minute, right? So it wants to advance, and it wants to advance quickly, as Uranus is echoing, we're tallying up things, this sort of need to evolve, need to advance, need to solution, need to move, need to get going, in a pragmatic, intelligent solution, sort of driven way. Okay, so this is the energy we're dealing with. There's a beauty element and an earthly glory deeply pervading this, experience. Why do I say that? Taurus, do you know what a beautiful woman looks like? Do you know what a beautiful landscape looks like? That is Taurus. That is Taurus, okay? That is Venus in an earthly incarnated experience. So just understand that, not only is that earthly, this Venus ruled earth sign, of course, but so is the sign we find Venus in, which is Capricorn. So there's a double earth theme here. The disposited ruling planet is in Capricorn, so another earth sign. And in ancient astrology, Venus and Saturn were actually harmoniously linked. So I see a really interesting theme here, everybody. There's an advancement-oriented theme. There is an earthly embodiment sort of theme. And I've talked about this idea of evolving through remembrance of an ancient sacred earth technology. So I think the ancient sacred earth technology that we're remembering and simultaneously advancing through is eloquently communicated, oh so eloquently, by a 0-degree exact orb conjunction trine experienced between these two planets, Venus and Uranus. Okay, Venus and Uranus, 12 degrees each of Capricorn and Taurus, respectively. This is a call to advance through remembering the ancient ways. So that's going to be my number one core takeaway, okay, from what this experience of this eclipse is karmically calling for us to do. And you just saw how I combined like 10 different factors or whatever it was to get there, right? But that's my number one takeaway. My number two assessment, based on information we've discussed so far, is that it is time to redefine social systems for radical individual autonomy and freedom. I talked about why that was in depth, given this T-square configuration engaging Jupiter in my previous video. However, I will stress here the emphasis of Saturn at the apex of the T-square, secondary T-square being formed between, again, key player, Uranus, and yes, volatile in Scorpio Mars, ready to bust some fucking piñata heads. You know what I'm saying? Like Mars and Scorpio do not play. And in a square with Saturn and an opposition with Uranus, ooh, baby, this is rough. This is 3 malefics in a T-square. I didn't even touch on this in the other video. So much to talk about, but the energy is ripe for a change. And with Saturn at that apex, it is again in the sign of Aquarius. Saturn is again ruling planet, the original ruling planet of Aquarius. And again, a key player in the Great Conjunction, which played out in late December of 2020, which WizdomDropz has videos on, you can check out. Okay. Have I mentioned astrology school is enrolling right now, and we start in January, and I'm looking to take y'all who are able to follow this or wanting to be able to follow this up to the next level. Okay. So this is what I am here for. Application found below. However, moving forward, what we can take away from this, right, y'all, is that the second takeaway is that it's time to radically redefine and institutionally assert. It's a reassertion of a collective freedom. That's what I see this as. Mars opposite Uranus. Oh my God, we could break down the degrees. We could break down the meaning of the opposition. We could break down the meaning of the square. We could put it again, together again in a T-square. But the takeaway is Mars opposite Uranus, revolt, rebel, liberate against unfair or inappropriate circumstances. And with Saturn at the helm of this, move into, constructive organization. Authority can suck, okay? But without any inner authority, without a socially agreed to authority or system or foundation or a bone architecture on which something might exist, we are a pile of fucking jelly. So when you see Saturn at the apex of a T-square in Aquarius, remember that there is an opportunity, the second highlight, right, of this event, the second key potential or opportunity you can take away from it. There is an opportunity to be part of redefining societal systems which honor everybody's autonomous choices and decisions. So be a part of that and not part of a society that forces Frankensteins upon people, which hasn't even been put through 12 to 14 years of standardized peer-reviewed data. Just, leaving that there. Moving right along to the third and final, kind of core assessment about what's going on under this lunation energy. Look, y'all, this axis, we need to talk about it. This is the axis of death and drama and pain and suffering, and also of the entire material world. And a lighter vibration, it might be all of Earth's beauty in the side of Taurus against or in harmony with the energy fluidity that unites that materiality at a molecular level, that is Scorpio. It is the shaman, to the earthly plane. It is this sort of dichotomy between energy and mass or matter. And so I think that what's to be taken away is that there's deep kind of primal, deeply primal Scorpio and Taurus, right? Foundational needs. I have, you have, what do we have, right? Energy here available for our advancement. And it's primal energy available for our advancement in a societal context, because you combine these very base root chakra, kind of crown chakra, polarizing, axis energies of Taurus and Scorpio. You combine that with this Saturn vibration, which is more about these sorts of, redefining systems and structures, especially emphasis on with it being in Aquarius and the modern ruler Uranus being engaged in the same conversation. So, there's a lot of energy here. Ruling planets are in their own sign. Saturn is in its own sign. Mars is in its own sign. Okay. The moon is in really good dignity in Taurus. So I think these are working in our favor. People who are freaking out, they might not be reading into that. They might not be seeing the larger plot line. And for me, that's the third and final piece of the story of what is available at a key foundational level under this eclipse, is that it's a reclamation of our societal systems and an advancement and evolution of this primal axis that Scorpio energy constitutes. Aquarius is the innovation. It's the where do we go from here? It's the recognition that there is a now, but there's an awareness within that there is inherently, implicitly a future. For better or worse, Aquarius is ever aware of a future reality. And at the apex of so much potent, agitated T-square energy with these malefics involved, with this deeply passionate sort of energy of Scorpio, with such a stellium, right? This sort of energy is really calling for us to take this primal stuff and bring it a sort of societal honor. You know what I'm saying? Because Aquarius, people look at it like a martyr sign, like it'll stand up for everybody. Like, yeah, Aquarius is so cool. But the real deal is Aquarius knows what it's like to be ostracized. Aquarius knows what it's like to be the oddball out. How Aquarius gets to be so cool, calm, and collected like a cucumber is that they eventually learn to not give a fuck enough to the point where Aquarius can detach from societal expectation and form an inner sense of foundation or rootedness or centeredness or confidence or authority within and of itself to declare a new reality. Right? That is Aquarius energy at the highest, most badass level. So that, my friends, at the apex of a T-square is the third and final thing that y'all are being called to do. We're all being called to do it. Welcome to the age of Aquarius. I'm getting goosebumps. This intense, eclipse is definitely being felt. And with that said, I'm really excited to offer a new round of astrology school. The coming year is bound to be absolutely bonkers. This sort of thing and awareness, this occult knowledge is only going to grow on steroids in the coming years. And I'm really so excited to be part of, growing the next generations of astrologers out here looking to apply all sorts of astrology, specifically Hellenistic astrology, Vedic astrology, and modern Western astrology, as well as a bit of evolutionary astrology. Those are kind of the four main schools that I, share information from or knowledge or wisdom from with my students. But those of you looking to do that, I'm really interested in working with you. I'm super excited to, facilitate conversations like this where we can talk about this stuff and understand it together. So thanks for all the support, everybody. If you got to the end of this video, leave me a frogs because frogs are dope. And that's just the first thing that came to mind. Thank you so much to all y'all for being, groovy and also joining my Patreon if you're looking to get more of my content on the daily. It's only $10 a month for the lowest tier, with a higher tier available for specialized horoscopes in your inbox. So check that out as well. Till next time and through next time, may the stars be with you. Peace.